Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Stand Up Speakeasy. I'm your host, Sareth Ney. In every episode, I bring a comic onto the show that needs some light on, shine onto them. So without further ado, welcome Preston Canavan. How are you, pal?
I'm good, buddy. How are you?
Fantastic. Thanks for being my guest today. Uh,
Happy to.
awesome. I saw you sharing the post of the Funny Style podcast recently when Cam shouted you out.
Oh yeah, that
And
was nice.
I was like, heck yeah, dude, he needs to get out of Orlando. I need to get out of Florida. I need to go to Austin too. Looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, Austin sounds good. I got to visit soon. Because Caleb Davis and Billy Swift and RV Jacob RV want me to be their roommate in Austin in the summer. So I'm thinking about just getting my stuff together and leaving.
That's a pretty good group you got there, and that's
Sounds
the way to go is like to move in groups. So that way you don't have to worry about an expensive rent.
Yeah, I couldn't handle it. I don't make enough money. Especially if I move. If I move, I have to start square one. You know what I mean? Some company. I don't
Sure.
know. I'm afraid.
Same. I want to go out and visit in February and see what the scene is like. I think that would be a good time because I was talking to a bunch of like my awesome comic friends, and they're like, "Yeah, that's the best time to go because it's not too hot, it's not too cold, it's like
Hmm.
the right weather." So it's like, all right.
Yeah, perfect. That sounds great.
We
Yeah,
should plan a trip together. That'd be awesome.
I would be into that. Absolutely.
Cool.
All about it,
Yeah.
dog.
Awesome cat. So I'm gonna go to but yeah, I was like, we mentioned like I was on the Funny Style podcast too, like I think last month or earlier this month, and we talked about you too, and they're like, yeah, I can't believe you interviewed. Yeah, you.
What?
Yep. So we were talking about our favorite joke of yours and everything, and because like Chris Robinson, I asked me like, dude, we thank you for like interviewing all of us because he looked back at all the interviews that I've done, and like he thought he pulled up your interview at Austin's like many years ago,
Yeah.
and I'm like, yeah, well, I love that joke of his where he has autism and he screams and like we all, and he's like it's such a dark joke, but it's so perfect, and I'm like, I know, so and they were jealous that they didn't write it, and I'm like, same here. It's
It's a fun one. I like that one. Yeah. It definitely
it,
gets people on your side quick.
most definitely. It's the way to go. Get them on your side, and then your set will be golden from there on out, I guess. But don't lose them because it's like fishing sometimes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I can definitely. I'm comfortable losing people. That's all the time.
Same here. Like Ross was like, Ross McCoy was on my festival this past year, and he's like, "Don't." He looks innocent on stage, but wait until he tells you about the hostess ding dong, and he just kept on playing it out, and I'm like, all right, I got to address the elephant in the room. I'm gonna just say it in the middle, and I lost everyone. I just bombed completely, like right afterwards.
Brutal, brutal.
Yep, it was brutal. So save my dirty jokes for last, like super hardcore dirty jokes for last.
Yeah, that's a good technique. I see that working for people.
Indeed. So I feel like little Kim Jong Il upstate on stage there. So
Love
or
it.
whatever his name is. But yeah, so Preston, you're a stand-up comedian and a writer from Orlando, Florida. So that's how we met, is being stand-up comedians. So what do you write jokes about, and what do you write about as well? That's not really to stand-up, or if it is, mention that too.
I like to write like scripts for things. So right now I've been writing sketches. I really like writing a short, easy sketch. I like writing things that I can make, and it's like I can't make a TV show. I've written like two pilots for television shows, but I mean it's so out of my realm to create a TV show that looks any type of decent. Like I'm so jealous of Jake Ricca. He was able to invest his show looks fantastic on YouTube, and I think that's a really cool way to do it. I also think it's really cool that he's able to, put that on so many comedians' resumes. He had so many local people working on it. But I would love to be able to make the things that I write. So I've been mostly writing sketches just because that's fun to create. You can see those on my TikTok and my Instagram. Other than that, I feel like for stand up, the things that I write are like based on like fears of mine. Like I'm afraid that I'm not masculine enough. I'm afraid that I'm too autistic to function as a person and be relatable. Um, I I don't know. It's just it all. I'm afraid that I'm gonna have a hernia. My hernia joke. I don't know if you've heard my giant chunk of hernia material. It's terrible. Uh, And then other than that, I've been writing songs. So writing comedy songs is a fun new challenge that I'm working with, and putting those on stage. So hopefully I'll have like a hybrid music stand-up act soon.
Indeed, I remember you bringing up your little instrument and singing.
Yeah,
So great. I love it.
they're definitely silly.
I wish there was like more musical comics here in like Florida. I mean, we got Scott Hooker and Punchline and Parodies and Sam Ivy and
Yeah,
yourself. I sing a song too, but I'm like, like Billy Myers hosted once at the
yeah.
Nog, and he goes, "Here, you sing your song, and it's like worse than Weird Al Yankovic, and and then you have Rob Rowick sing backup vocals and finishing your lyrics. Like what? I'll send you the set. It's called Billy Silly Willy, and he gets so angry at the end.
I love it. That sounds hilarious.
Yeah, I miss him. He's great. He's doing great things out in L.A.
Yeah, it's been and what was his wife's name? She was lovely. Tara.
I'm not sure. I think he has a new one. He's
Does he
been
really?
married like yeah, like 4 times or something. I don't know.
Oh my
Bless his
god,
heart.
good for him.
Good for him.
I'm trying to
I'm
find
like,
one wife. Jesus, you got all of them over there. What the hell?
if you want to, you can go to Minglers in Daytona Beach because that's where all the swingers go. And so I'm sure you can find something there.
I'm looking for my wife, not somebody else's wife.
Keep those pineapples away from me.
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, yeah. I love sketches and like Rudy Malamba and Roy Shepard and myself, we filmed one, and it took just one shot from me and then 2 shots for their scene. I was like, this is fantastic. It was like a minute long, but it was like Woober, which is like because I love the Wu Tang Clan,
Mhm.
and it's like Uber and Woob and Wu Tang did like a thing, and in the end, I call it like coming soon is like uh Wu Tang Van Gogh. They're gonna have a van service. I'm just such a dork with the art stuff.
I love it. I don't know anything about hip hop. A lot of that was over my head, but I'm impressed by your knowledge, and I
Oh,
I love that sketches are so accessible that we can make them on phones. That's
oh,
that's really good. I wouldn't be able to. I mean, cameras are so expensive.
yep.
Phones are expensive, but my work phone has a really nice camera on it. It's the 13 Pro, I think. I love working with that phone and making sketches with it.
Dang, that must be nice. That
It's
work phone comes in handy.
yeah,
So,
it does.
where do you work outside when you're off stage?
So I'm a social media marketing manager. I just run pages for this company called Mears Transportation. We do all the buses that go from Orlando International Airport to the Disney resorts. So Mears Connect, and then we also have all the taxis. I don't know if you've seen like any taxis in Central Florida, but it's like 9 times out of 10 it's a Mears taxi. Um, and then like charter bus services, stuff like that. So my job is really just posting pictures of buses and being like, you guys like this? We just have a video go viral though. I made like a meme or one, and it got over 1 million views, which was just super cool.
Dang,
I feel so baller. It's garbage. It's just Hasbula. It's like it's silly though.
dang, that's pretty awesome. I'm like, do they give you a bonus when you go viral?
They don't, but they should. They absolutely. They my respect. The clout that I have with these old white women really goes up. They're all about it. They're like, wow, that's a lot of people viewed it. I'm like, yep. But they don't really understand the value. I don't know. It's nice.
For sure. I'm glad you love. You understand like the concept of like working within your means and like your budget because like some people just like write these science fiction scripts. I'm like, how are you gonna pay for all of that? It's
Right.
like
It's hubris. It's just it's what you want at the end of the day, you know what I mean? But I mean, if you can't make it, then you're not gonna get it on your in your portfolio on your resume.
yep.
And I love writing packets, but I mean, I feel so anxious that no one's gonna see me if all I have is a packet. I need products.
Absolutely.
I'm so
That's the way to go. I made a short film like for like a 24-hour film festival in Colorado,
hell yeah.
and we only raised like $25 to make it, and none of it went to production. It's
Yeah.
like it won an award though for best film to watch while stoned. So I
That's such a good category. I love
It's it was supposed to be a horror movie, but the editing was so bad it turned into a comedy. I'm like, oh hell.
That's perfect. I'm into that. Yeah, those 24 hours are that's a tricky amount of time to make a good product.
Oh yeah,
I'm really impressed
indeed.
with people who pull those off.
I try to do two more, but I'm like, it never compared to the first one. It's just like a sophomore slump. I'm like, all right, I give up. But yeah,
You gotta get
awesome.
worse at editing. You gotta you gotta bring that old spirit to it.
Indeed. And what was weird was like we didn't know how to use editing software, so we recorded over stuff we didn't need, and so total mess. It was like on the HDV cam, like tapes, and I'm like, and like we didn't have any way to like screen it, like put it on a disc, so we plugged the camcorder straight to the projector,
I
and
love
it
it.
just
I love
we're
it.
horrible.
That's filmmaking at a core
uh,
level, I think. You know?
indeed. $25, good stuff. But yeah,
Perfect.
so yeah, so it's pretty awesome that you write and produce sketches and on social media, and you can find all of them on Preston Canavan on Instagram, and his link tree is on the bottom too. So that's so rad. I love it.
It's a good
So
time.
for sure. And what got you like you're a musician too? So what got you playing music?
So my sister played flute in middle school, and I thought it was so fucking cool. I'm 5 years younger than her. So when I was growing up, like she's 12 going into sixth grade, and I'm 5 years younger, just like watching her, like, oh my god, this is crazy. Like she just played the Pirates of the Caribbean song on her flute. I thought it was the coolest. Like it made my like blood pressure spike. I just thought Pirates of the Caribbean was so cool. And she played such it like sounded just like it to me, even though it's just one flute. I'm like, oh my god, that's the song. I thought it was so cool. And she had a keyboard that I would like mess with when people weren't home. And in fourth and fifth grade, there was like a violin program at my elementary school that I was in. So we like played violin then, and I really liked that. And then in sixth grade, there was the introduction of band, and I knew that I wanted to be in band because my sister was in band and she had a flute, and I was like, that's sick. So I started playing trumpet in sixth grade. And I was in band all through my school career until I got my GED, but I was very young. I did sixth grade, seventh grade, eighth grade, and then ninth grade, and 3 quarters of my sophomore year of high school before I got my GED. But I really enjoyed playing trumpet for all that time. And I played jazz mostly. I played in the jazz bands from seventh grade on. And that was
Uh,
great. I love jazz. I think jazz is super cool. I played in there was this summer program jazz band based out of Michigan that did like an international tour. So you go to this summer camp and you audition to be in the international band, and I got in. So I toured France, Germany, and Denmark playing jazz music when I was 16. And then after that, I taught myself piano and bass, and I mess with guitar, but I can't play guitar for shit. And now what I mostly play is bass.
awesome.
But it's
That's
a lot of fun.
pretty rad, dude. I mean, just to go on tour through Europe is pretty awesome.
It was crazy. It was a really nice opportunity. I learned a lot.
For sure. I used to go to a jazz club in LA all the time when I lived out there. It was called the Baked Potato, and like they give you these like you order these big old potatoes and it was like fully loaded. I mean, they're huge. Like where do they like? It's like Honey I Shrunk the Potato. It's like it's so huge.
Yeah.
And then like the drummer Danny Carey from Tool would he's in jazz bands too out there, and you would like catch him on an off night just playing drums with his two bands, Bubbatron and Volto, and but he'd always be late because the Lakers would be playing, and he'd always watch the Lakers first, and then he'd come and jam out. It was awesome.
Love it. That's amazing.
Yeah, so definitely look them up, Volto and Bubbatron. So
I got you. I'm writing it down.
awesome. So yeah, he's and to see Danny Carey up close, because like you see him play with Tool, like in Tool, and like he's so far away, but when you see him in like a really close, like the best views are everywhere. You can't. It's such a small bar, like
Mm.
he's just like his drum skills like so close as like water. It's like it just flows so beautifully. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
A
Like,
good musician, especially for some reason, jazz musicians really get me because it's like it's blatant that what they're playing is technically difficult.
mhm,
Um, it's just really it's a pleasure to watch, especially piano and guitar are the ones that really melt my brain.
mhm.
Um, I fucking hate horns. I'm like, shut up.
Oh, good stuff. I gotta go back to another. I'm going to Chicago in like in 2 weeks, so hopefully like, there's a cool jazz club that I can go see. Like, and I'll focus on the guitar play and the piano. And
Yeah,
so,
shit's magic. Especially from like a music theory perspective, just watching a great jazz musician go ape on a piano. It's a real treat. It's special. Fucking crazy.
indeed, I gotta go to New Orleans too, and because I hear their jazz scene is amazing too.
That's more of the traditional jazz. So New Orleans is like credited for a lot of the or original jazz musicians are from New Orleans or whatever. That's where it really like was the good melting pot, the French sounds, the like bluesy sounds all melted together there and became very slick. So there's a lot of like older styles of jazz, like trad jazz and hot jazz are trad is short for traditional. I don't know who I'm. I'm just like going on a jazz rant now. I'm so excited about jazz. They'll there's something very common in traditional jazz and hot jazz that I really fucking love. This is a jazz from like pre 40s, like where the band started to get bigger. So it's like small group jazz, upright bass, or a sousaphone often, so they could walk around with it easier. Like snare and bass drum, a lot of times a washboard instead of a hi hat, something along those lines. And then I love the trombones that always go don't like big slides are a big thing for trad jazz. And then a wailing clarinetist. So a clarinet that just starts getting like real screamy, real high up melodies. That shit is lovely. The streets of New Orleans is rife with it. And you can just go see it anytime. It's beautiful. Beautiful.
Awesome. And all we need now is just jazz hands.
You got to get jazz hands out. Yeah. If you're not wiggling for people, what are you doing?
Yeah. Good stuff. So Preston, I remember like when we talked to like the Funny Style podcast, which you need to be a guest on if you haven't been on there already.
I'd love to. I haven't spoken with Chris yet. I just bumped into him once or twice at Moon Room, but I'd be really happy to make his proper acquaintance.
Heck yeah. Record your see if you can record your episode before Moon Room, and that's what I did. And it's recorded live at his workplace. It's like an insurance office,
Oh,
but
perfect.
it's a really neat podcast studio too. So it's like you can get Medicaid, Medicare, and do a podcast here. It's fantastic.
What's up?
Yeah. Awesome. So like yeah, we were talking about your interview that we did at Austin. So this is the next act, which is like Act Two, and we'll see if your your answers have been updated. So, with that being said, what inspired you to perform stand-up comedy?
My original inspiration was Bill Cosby. He was the first stand-up comedian that I'd ever seen. Now that I'm in therapy and I see a lot of my trauma, one of the only things that I got positive feedback for from my parents was making jokes because they would laugh and I could easily tell that they were enjoying the fact that I was making jokes. But I also now know that I am bad at reading people's faces, so I just needed it to really be blatant that they were. I was like, oh, they like me now. I just couldn't fucking tell. But yeah, I think that just people needing jokes was my big inspiration for becoming a stand-up comic. And I really like it. I think it gives me a particular rush. There's a real addicting part of stand-up that's great. Like if you're good at it. I've been really lucky. I haven't had a lot of bad shows lately, but when I first started out, when you first met me, I had a lot of bad shows. So I was like totally unable to be addicted to something that, like, yeah, I got addicted to going out and kicking myself in the face. That's what it would have felt like at that time. But no, yeah, I've been having a real good time with it lately. So feeling blessed. That's
That's
my
awesome.
trauma. Yeah.
Good stuff. And what was it feeling like when you first performed stand-up?
the first time I ever performed stand-up, like, so I was in 5th grade, and it was oration, which is that, like, write a story and then read it in front of your class, and if you're the best in your class, you get to read it in front of some judges, and then if you're the best in the school, you get to read it in front of the whole school or whatever. And I didn't get past the first level, but then we were at the school level where everyone was gathered together and like listening to these people read their fucking stories. And so it was like 4 or 5 people. They all go, and then the judges have to go deliberate. And the judges are deliberating, and the music teacher is trying to entertain everybody on stage, and she's just like so boring. She makes us all sing Yellow Submarine, and it's like clear that the judges were taking longer than she thought they would take. So she's like trying to burn time, and then I begged her if I could get up on stage and tell a joke, and she was like, "Fine, Preston wants to come up on stage and tell a joke." So I had just seen Bill Cosby himself, that stand-up album. This is why I say Bill Cosby was a big inspiration to me. It was the first time I had ever seen a comedian. It was so fucking mind-blowing to me. I thought he was so funny. My parents let me watch him because he was a clean comedian, which is so funny. They were like, Bill Cosby's super clean. He can definitely the first comedian I'm exposed to. It's just the biggest monster in all of comedy. I loved him. I thought he was amazing. I did his dentist bit. I don't know if you're familiar, but it's a very funny, very family friendly, very accessible and relatable piece of stand up because everyone's been to the dentist, and it just breaks down that experience. And I remembered almost all of it, like all of the greater beats I remembered fully constructed. And then like I got off stage, it was minutes, it was more than a few minutes, and I was killing. I remember killing. People talked about that for years to come. All of those like it was the whole school, so it was people younger than me, and I was in 5th grade. So the next year I went to 6th grade, and then after that I was in 7th grade, and all the people who were in 4th grade who watched it when I did it were now in 6th grade at the different school with me, and they were like, dude, that was crazy. And then the next year when the people who were in 3rd grade were in 6th grade, they were like, that everybody remembered me. It was crazy. I was very that was like, I felt like a celebrity. It was a really big deal. People called my mom, and they were like, your son was very funny today at school, and my kids won't shut up about it. It was a very formative experience for me. I was like, funny people get rewarded with love.
Yeah.
I should do this.
Yellow Submarines, I guess, on another level, but
the other traumatic lesson was the Beatles suck.
oh man,
Yeah.
we got a viewer in the audience, so if you'd like to interact in the chat, you're more than welcome to, but be nice to us. So,
oh my gosh, hi.
Whenever I think of Yellow Submarine, I think about the Beatles, and then when I think about the Beatles, I think about my come together joke at the West Hollywood bathhouse.
I have only heard the premise and I love it. Right? Like I feel like I get it and I love it.
It's great because like you can get everyone to sing along and have everyone on board because they know the lyrics to finish come together, and it's just like, and they're all in on the joke, and it's just like it's so beautiful to get everyone on board together.
I love it. I love it. Have you heard Gary Clark Jr.'s cover of "Come Together"?
Yeah, it's pretty intense.
It's so good. I just went up to that at Moon Room. They asked for my walk-up music. I was like, Gary Clark Jr. Come Together. It was honestly way too much.
Indeed. I love Eric and the whole Melbourne gang. They're just fantastic.
Killing the Game, so supportive. I wouldn't feel as happy as I do in the comedy scene if they hadn't have been so supportive to me when I was just coming back. It was so nice. Brian Milligan. Also, they're all fucking murderers, which is insane. There's just like a pocket of killer comedians who live in fucking Melbourne, which is like, I don't know, Melbourne is so far out and random to me. But I mean, it's just a perfect comedy scene there. Jimmy Moynihan put it together. Apparently, everyone like worships him. He's literally the messiah of Melbourne comedy.
I called him the king once, and he got so mad at me. I'm like, my bad, but
Yeah, he's completely humble,
He's
which
doing
is
well in
also
Austin, I'm guessing.
yeah.
What?
He's completely humble, which is also irritating. It's like quit
Right?
it. Be confident.
Indeed. Absolutely. Awesome. He's doing pretty good out in Austin, so he's coming back to visit in December, he said, during Christmas, so hope
Hell yeah.
should be a fun time. And yeah, like I try to do clean comedy, and like Eric, the last time I went to do Moon Room, and Eric plays "Come Together" by the Beatles as I'm like, oh hell, I gotta give it to Eric because he requested the song. So he played the song, and I didn't even ask for it. I'm like, all right, cool. I guess he wants me to do the West Hollywood bathhouse joke. So that joke is so filthy, but it's a fun one. It's two and a
Go.
half minutes though. It's a
Dude,
long
I need
joke.
to hear this joke. I feel like it's been too long since I've heard it.
Oh, do it right now?
No, don't do it right now, but I need to hear it
Okay.
again. Yeah.
Okay, thank goodness, because I'm like, it's I did it in Atlanta, at the Relapse Theater where Rory Scovel did his specials, and
Was
it
that
was
the Netflix special, the latest one that he did?
I don't think so. It was it was like Rory Scovel tried stand up for the first time or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yep.
That's okay. Perfect. I didn't know what that
Yeah.
theater was called. I love that. The intro for that whole thing is so funny.
Oh yeah, and he did it like over the pandemic. He did one on YouTube for it too, and it's like a documentary, and it's pretty awesome.
Oh, I
So.
didn't know about that. I gotta look that up.
Yep, write it down, look it up. He's a good fella,
Hell
and
yeah.
he's on Those Who Can't too, which is with like the Grolics from Denver. Kyle Kinane's in it, and Roy Scovel plays a teacher. He's hilarious. Oh no, he played a principal in season one. So yeah, good
Okay,
stuff.
Those Who Can't.
Yep.
Perfect. What's that on?
It used to be on True TV, but it went off the air. But you can get it like I think it's on other. If you search it up, it'll be somewhere.
10-4.
Dude, you're pretty popular. There's another viewer in the audience, so if you like to interact in the chat, you're more than welcome to. Just be nice to us.
Oh my god, shut up.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
I get so excited because like I interviewed Danielle Mathis once on here,
Queen.
and her whole family had like a watch party in the living room, and they were interacting in the chat. It was so much fun.
That's so nice.
Yep,
I
good
love
stuff. They're like,
it.
ask her about this, ask her about that. I'm like, all right, I'll ask her about
Yeah.
all this stuff. Um,
Oh my gosh. I hope no one who knows me is telling you to ask like sordid things about me.
Indeed.
Ask him about
Um,
that one time. Oh,
right?
oh no.
And and I wish my live stream comments and stuff and questions were like Kill Tony's, but it was just too much to read, and just oh, it's just too much. I'm like,
Sure.
look, but if people want to hop in and like say something, I'll probably post it on the screen or something if it's nice. So
Yeah.
not trying to get banned on YouTube or nothing.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah.
Yep. So you mentioned Bill Cosby himself as one of your favorite specials and records. What are your other favorite comedy specials and comedy records?
So for a long time that was my favorite because it was the only one I had ever seen. I haven't listened to it in a really long time. It is kind of weird for me to separate the art from the artist. A lot of times, I can get over it when I'm like just like really focusing on a bit or like the construction of a bit, like something technique wise that I can distract myself with. But at the end of the day, it's like, this is a horrible person. I also really struggle with Chris D'Elia, but he used to be someone that I really liked. But oh my god, I just watched a video about everything that he did, and I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. I had no idea. So bad. So right now, specials that really have just been getting me again and again for a couple years. Almost everything that Maria Bamford has ever done. I listen to specials. First, I find a comedian that I like, and then I listen to their whole discography from the beginning to now. And I don't get tired of listening to Maria Bamford's specials, fucking beginning to end. She's lethal, and she's got like the ability to just switch between points of view without setup just because of the different voices in the same way that Jim Gaffigan does. But I think her act outs are so much more intense and theatrical than his in a way that is lethal, just totally draws you in. It's a beautiful technique, and I would love to adopt something like that in my own stand-up. Baby J, killer. I have been to rehab. I appreciate what he's talking about a lot. I also appreciate the fact that he's talking about it. A lot of comedians have, mental health issues of varying kinds and need to see that people can have mental health issues and rise above it, treat it, give it the necessary attention. If you are struggling with something like that, I think it's helpful to talk about it so other people can see that there is a struggle that is healthier than other struggles. So Baby J is big on my list right now. Fucking Shane Gillis, Beautiful Dogs, pissing myself. I've watched it like 6 times. It came out like 2 months ago. I can't stop watching it. It's killer. It's killer, killer, killer. And his special, the Live in Austin one as well, at Creek and Cave, I think. Just an amazing, the YouTube one, so killer. I need to watch Matt's, but I also just like, I don't care about Matt, Matt and Shane's secret podcast is like History Hyenas, in that the only funny one is Chris DiStefano / Shane. They're really killer. I feel like Chris DiStefano is also really good. I don't love his stand up as much as I love his podcast shit though. There's got to be another special that I really like. Oh, Tom Segura's specials are also ones that I don't get tired of, which is weird because I feel like I didn't love Sledgehammer, but all of the ones that lead up to Sledgehammer are killer. Killer, killer.
Awesome. He's gonna be on tour here soon, I guess, at the Amway, and and there's so many killer comedians coming through, like St. Augustine, and surprisingly enough, his tour is called Come Together. So it's
That's right. I just saw that they were having dates out. I don't think I can. I don't think I can bring myself to watch a comedian in an arena. Is that stupid? I feel like theaters I'm maxing out.
yeah, theater is where you max out. I mean, I saw Dave Chappelle at Amway, and it was just, I was in the nosebleeds. I was like, my nose was probably possibly bleeding, but it was just a like horrible experience. Like because like you're right above the speakers, and that's how high I was, and I'm like, but I got a free Chappelle tote bag, so that was nice.
Hell yeah.
I got like a hoodie, a shirt, and poster. I kind of went all out, got some stickers. I gave one to Julian McNeil, and so because he didn't get to go to the merch table, so I'm like, here's a sticker for you. It's like it was only like $5, but I had to. I
That's
felt bad, and he was like so late that because he said like Beyonce was going to the show too, and so they paused the line just for her to be escorted in, and I'm like, oh well. That explains why you didn't get your tote bag. You should have arrived an hour earlier. So
I love it. Yeah, Julian's great.
indeed, he's a good fella. So a
Dave
couple of
was the first guy that I ever saw live.
who is that?
Dave Chappelle's the first comedian I ever saw live.
Oh wow!
He was a huge influence on me as well. That was the first time where like I had been reminded of the love that I felt for Bill Cosby. So Bill Cosby was like 4th and 5th grade. I watched his special a couple times, but when Dave Chappelle had just come out of retirement and was doing dates before his new Netflix specials dropped, this was like 6th grade for me. My best friend's dad was obsessed with Dave Chappelle, as many generations of people were when Chappelle's show was on. So he took us to those and changed my life. Changed my life.
Wow.
Like I wasn't even laughing. I was just like, people are allowed to do this. Like it was crazy. I had never seen anything like it.
Oh man, that's pretty awesome. I think my very first time seeing someone live was my friend Malik Barnhart. He's been in a film with like Tom Sizemore and everything now, and uh, he had this robe on stage for some strange reason. Just got like after everything was said and done, he was in his boxers, and he's just a wild guy. I was
I
just
love
trying to sell cell phones in the valley, and he goes, "Yeah, you should come see my stand up. It's like down the street at Smiles in Sherman Oaks." I'm like, "All right." And so I was like, I gotta do stand up after that, like do it live. Cause I saw like my very first experience was like Manny the Fanny with John Leguizamo, where he dresses like a lady and it's so hilarious. I'm
I
like,
love it.
this is so good. And I'm like, all right, I got to do stand up, and I did Anna Lepley's show once doing drag, and I'm like, all right, that's enough for me. It just took too long for my nails to dry, and I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah, Rob Love just told me about Anna Lepley, and I was like, "Why have I not been asked to be on these shows?" Like half of this shit on my half of the sketches on my page, I'm in drag. I'm like, this is literally my wheelhouse. I have 4 wigs. Like,
Wow.
I need to be on this.
I was her first geisha. Like I had like a geisha wig and everything, and like a bathrobe, but I couldn't afford a kimono, and so I just went out all out, and I Sir Winston Pickles, you know him, right?
No.
Oh,
Oh,
he's
I think I follow him on Instagram.
the clown.
Yeah, that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. He taught me makeup tips, and I he goes, yeah, buy this white like makeup that I get, and then just put it on, and just and then that's how you do it. And here's like a black one that I recommend. And so I got makeup tips from Sir Winston Pickles, and then by the end of the day, I look like I love the booger sugar a lot. So it was horrible.
The coked out geisha. What a vibe. Yeah.
It's on my Instagram too. It's so bad.
I gotta find it. I'll scroll back. That's amazing.
Indeed, you can't miss it. And my name was gonna be Tech Norse, but there was already one on Instagram or on Urban Dictionary. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go with Violet Ney, like as in Violent J in the because I was a juggler slash geisha, and it worked out perfectly.
I love it. I love it.
And then Roy Shepard and I went to the flea market, and I had a my bikini spray like painted or whatever they do,
Mhm.
and it was just like I look pretty good in this swimsuit. It's
Yeah.
like, airbrush, that's what it is, airbrush.
Airbrush. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Amazing.
awesome, good stuff. I can't find the video anywhere, but it was just it's a
That's
mess.
fantastic.
Indeed. So a couple of those folks that you mentioned were on TV and film. So, what are your favorite sitcom sketch shows and comedy films?
Oh gosh. I'm big into sitcoms. I love sitcoms. I for a long time my goal was to be a sitcom writer. I think that one day I would love to write and be on a sitcom. That's a big deal to me. My favorites, Always Sunny is always on top. It's so unbelievably funny to me. I love Always Sunny. I can't get enough of it. I really like New Girl too, which feels weird. I feel like recently I've heard a lot of hate for New Girl, but New Girl has always had my heart. Brooklyn Nine-Nine is great. Bob's Burgers is great. I realized that I've named like 3 Fox ones in a row. I also really like Big Bang Theory. That was a big deal for my childhood. That's one of the last multicams. Multicams also hold a special place in my heart. I'm partial to Seinfeld as well. Seinfeld's a big deal for me, and I go to town on The Office. The Office is another really special one.
Absolutely.
I don't watch enough sketch shows. I don't watch like any sketch shows at all. I really want to get back into I Think You Should Leave. My ex hated it, so we never got to watch it, but I wanted to. I put it on every night. I was like, can we please watch this? And she was like, no, it makes me feel uncomfortable. It's a very uncomfortable show. She has a good point, but I'm excited to watch it now. And then did you ask for movies as well?
Yep.
My favorite movie as a kid was Dodgeball. That was one of the first comedy movies that I saw that really fucked me up. I was like, wow, that's so good. It made me laugh so hard. Ben Stiller's killer. Tropic Thunder was a big deal for me too. I really like those. Also, Will Ferrell. I mean, Will Ferrell just did everything. Blades of Glory was beautiful. Elf is honestly really funny to me and wholesome in a good way. Um, just thinking about Blades of Glory right now. It's so fun. I don't know. I don't watch a lot of movies anymore.
It's quite time consuming too, and then we all binge on episodes. Like, oh, we can eat up these half hours pretty easily.
Yeah.
Yep. I gotta watch. I think you should leave too, but I don't have any of those streaming services. I'm like, just I know,
They're very worth it.
I know, but I'm just like, the monthly it just keeps on rising. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna spend this on myself. Like,
You're making a good choice. I feel like I'm getting attacked by Hulu a lot of the time, but it's fine. I'm just under siege.
Those Who Can might be on Hulu, so definitely give that might look it up on that one. Who
Okay, perfect.
knows?
I'll
Yep,
definitely Google it.
good stuff, good stuff. And so what's uh like if you can go on tour with any comedian, locally and internationally known, which comedians would you like to go on tour with?
Oh wow. I feel like it'd be really fun to go on tour with John Mulaney, because I love drugs. I feel like it'd be really fun to go on tour with John Mulaney. I feel like he would have a lot of really good insight and he'd be able to fix all of my jokes. You know what I mean? um, that would be a big deal for me. And honestly, I would be happy to go on tour with anyone. I don't think there's many people that I dislike. There are only a few people that I'm like wary of. I just wouldn't want to go on tour with anybody who was mean. But I'm happy to work if there's work being handed out. You know what I mean? Like I would love to go on any tour at this stage of my career.
Awesome. How about local ones?
Local ones, so like C. Dillard would be a lot of fun. Ken Miller would obviously be a lot of fun. Ollie Flores, I have specifically requested that he take me on tour. Eddie K would be a lot of fun. I really like this. I don't know if you know him, Derek, the guy who does sign language.
Oh yeah, he went on stage with me at Grumpy's, and it was so fun.
He's a killer. He's a fucking killer. He's also unbelievably sweet. So he would be a lot of fun to hang out with. I think for an extended period of time in a van or something. I really like Jess Torres. I really like Robin Love. I like Joe and Jake. I like Billy Swift. Gosh, I feel like there's no one I wouldn't go on tour with. They're all very sweet people. I've been feeling very blessed with the community in the Orlando comedy scene. It's really nice.
Oh yeah, they are quite lovely people for sure. And
You're doing God's work putting it all on video, man. You running a blog is not easy at all. And you've been doing it for 6 or 7 years. The consistency, Sareth, nobody has that consistency. It's really good to see. And it's a time capsule of Orlando comedy. It's fucking amazing. That evolves for so long. How long have you been running it?
since like 6, 7 years, like
That's
yep.
so much work.
Indeed. I mean, I stopped during the pandemic, and then I'm like, right after, like in the pandemic, I'm like, I'm just gonna do this from home. This is fantastic, because I'm like, we can just have normal conversations. I'm not editing the questions in and out, and it's just, I don't know. And then I started like my friends would move to certain states, and they would nominate people in their circle, and just kept on growing and growing and growing to like nationwide, and one in Poland. I'm like, this is fantastic. So, I just love interviewing comics because our brains are just so amazing, I think. I mean, even though we have like some mental health and stuff, it's just like just picking brains is like what I love to do. It's just like, oh, I'm not trying to fix you, but I just want to get to know you.
You're all
So,
good, buddy. You're killing the game. I love what you're doing. It's very
oh,
impressive.
thanks, bud. Thanks for being my guest on like back then and here, and we got a few more questions to go too. So, just a
Hell yeah.
couple.
I'm excited.
Awesome, fantastic. And so, if you can get roasted by 5 comedians, top 5 dead or alive, which comedians would you have to get roasted by?
Oh gosh. I mean, obviously Don Rickles, pour one out. Jeff Ross. I don't know, Whitney Cummings, Tony Hinchcliffe. I feel like Andy Dick would be really mean to me in a way that not a lot of people can be mean. I feel like he would hit home in a way that, for my masochism, would be perfect.
Good stuff. And let's see, what do you see your comedy career or journey? I used to say career, but I'm like, I'm just gonna say journey because it's better than a career, I think.
Because
Because
I
you
can't
never know where it's gonna go.
yeah.
So we're for Bill Cosby, we all know where his went, but uh, but yeah, where do you see your comedy journey in the next 5 years?
Well, hopefully, if I can resist becoming a sexual predator. It'll be I'll be well off. I don't know. I would love. I think I'm gonna have to live in a different place to get successful, but I think once I do move, it'll be within a handful of years that I find some type of money or ability to like tour. So I think that in 5 years I'll be doing better than I think that I can. You know what I mean? Um, I don't know. I'd like to make good money. I hope that I can headline by then. Fuck. I'm gonna cry. I'm so afraid.
Indeed. Same here. And so, you've done sketch, and we talked about sitcoms, and which other forms of comedy would you venture off into, like improv, directing, acting, and so forth?
I love directing and acting. I think that improv is really hard. I really like the writing process. My degree is creative writing. I love writing scripts, and I think that my best work comes out when I'm alone with a laptop. So improv bothers me. I'm not good at it, and I've given it. I want to say a fair shake. I think I could shake it again, but I don't want to. So I think that those are the types of comedy that I like the most. Is sitcom preferred is probably my number one, but it's becoming more and more short form the more damaging my addiction to social media is, you know. So it might be sketches soon. I don't know when my brain is fried.
And they're quick and easy to like make, and it's easy to digest, and
Yeah.
just it's our attention spans are not that great anymore. But so yeah, TikToks, and I'm a nice guy. Like I made a TikTok to reserve my name, but then I follow up my friends' accounts and haven't posted anything yet. So
It's hard to make yourself post on a new platform. Building from scratch is it's daunting.
yeah. So maybe I should put my Woober up there. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what
Yeah.
happens. Yeah. It's so cheesy. But I which what is your favorite joke a comic has written?
Jeez. Hmm. That's really interesting. There are a couple jokes that really stick in my brain because I've heard other comedians talk about them. Um, like Jerry Seinfeld on Talking Funny talks about a joke, how jokes burrow deep into your subconscious, into your psyche, and they just stay there. And when you're out living your life, they'll come to you, and it'll be like, oh, remember that joke? So one that really sticks with me, Jerry Seinfeld mentions this joke after that anecdote on Talking Funny HBO. He says, David Letterman used to say that he would spit toothpaste into his sink, let it dry, and then serve them as after dinner mints. I think about that joke. I don't know why. It's only because Jerry Seinfeld said he thinks about it all the time. But it's like it really does like come up regularly that I think about. It's every time I brush my teeth, every time I'm spitting minty shit. It's deep in me. I can't get it out. I think about it a lot. I think about there's this one line in Louis C.K.'s special. By the way, Louis C.K. big influence on me. Really love Louis C.K. I don't know if I've said anything about him before, but like just the fact that he's made all of his shows and everything, I feel like his career is beautiful. Mostly, a little bit, but the rest of it, I'm like nice. I think the ratio of stand-up to television is really perfect in his career. Speaking of the ratio of television to stand-up, Josh Johnson just had a new special come out on Peacock. He's great. And did a lot of writing for television as well. I'm getting sidetracked. Joke Louis C.K. in Live at the Comedy Store, where he flips a rat over to make it come. And he talks about spitting in her rat asshole and rubbing her rat clit. And then afterwards he's like, don't slut shame her. That's what she likes. And I just hear him say, that's what she likes so many times. Because that's what she likes. He's like solemn about it. It's really funny. It just really makes me happy.
I feel bad for those rodents out in LA. I mean, first the gerbil with Richard Gere, and then now Louis C.K. with the rats.
These rodents can't catch a break.
Nope. Someone call pest control over here. Oh, jeez. What experience would you like your audience to take with them after a set is over?
After one of my sets is over,
Hmm.
oh geez, I'd like them to think that autism is a spectrum. I'd like them to think that it was funny. I'd like them to feel happy and like shocked that they loved it.
Good stuff.
Yeah, happy. I want them to love me. I think.
Well, we love you, so you're doing pretty good. So
Thanks, buddy. I'm trying my best. It won't feel good until my mom loves me, though. So it'll.
good stuff. We'll work on that, Mom. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, having parents that are supportive and stand up is like the best. My dad like gave me like an extra $100 when I went on my first tour, and
Oh, nice.
for some strange reason the stars aligned because like I had like 14 performances back to back for 10 days straight. I was like, this is great.
Yeah.
Yep, all the way up to Atlanta. That's where I did the Relapse Theater, and then I did the Wormhole in Savannah, and then Tallahassee at Birds, and I did Gainesville,
Beautiful.
and it was and I came back home with $40 in my pocket, but the memories are just fantastic. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a good run. That's a fucking great 2 weeks right there. 10 days,
Hmm. 10
14 shows.
days. Yep. Yep.
I'm into that,
Yeah.
man. That's fantastic.
I need to do another one though, because they're so much fun. You just save like $100 a week, and then you'll be good. So,
Oh
yep.
yeah, yeah.
Or maybe it's 100. Yeah, $100, something like that. But yeah, because I don't go out drinking or nothing like that. So that's how I save so much money.
I don't
Um,
know.
yeah,
I try not to.
it's rough.
It's like after a set, I just start shaking. I'm like, oh, that was so much energy. I chug a White Claw, and I'm like, I'm better. I think I'm better. I think it's better.
Oh man, good stuff. And so this the next part is like it's with the stand up speakeasy. We're like, so you got to be invited to join the club this time.
Mhm.
So with that being said, which top 5 comedians in your circle would you like to be seen as a future guest on the stand up speakeasy?
Jeez. Have you had Jess Torres yet?
Not yet,
Yeah, she's
but
my
she's hilarious. I love her.
she's great. She's also just a hang wise, just a perfect hang. There's nothing like I feel like when I talk to women, they're just so much better at understanding me. I have like 2 male friends, you know what I mean? It's like I need this feminine energy to decode whatever the heck is wrong with me. Like they're just like translating. They're like, I think I understand what he's feeling. He doesn't, but I might, Jess Torres is great. Alex nominated me. That's right. Have you had Ollie Flores on?
Not yet, but I want to though. I think I was supposed to reach back out in November, but I forgot. But it's not too late. We got one more day left in here, so.
Yeah. Yeah, Ollie's great. There's an LA comic who I like, Matthew Coe. I could definitely send you his information. He's also great. He's very sweet. He's got a really cool story. And then have you had C. Dillard on?
I have.
Oh,
Yep.
perfect. He's the best. He's so sweet. I like Sebastian Hernandez. You know Sebastian?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I played Under the Sea for his walk up music at the Nog, and he got so mad.
yeah.
You should have picked your song. I had Rudy like ask you, but I just played Sebastian because I thought of Sebastian, the crab right away, the lobster, whatever it is, right away. So.
I love it. That's so silly. Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, Ryan Palmer, Ryan J. Palmer, you know him?
I need to get him on too for sure.
Yeah, he's sweet. He runs Grumpy's now, so he's definitely around. I'm just burping now. I'm just full of burps, so that's cool.
It's because you're under the sea.
Yeah.
Let the bubbles out. Awesome.
Finding Nemo, just like. burping
Awesome.
constantly.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's about five, I think.
I think that was five.
One for good measure. So
Jari
sounds
right.
sounds I need to get him on too. We've been talking about it for a while now, but he's a good fella too. I love the guy.
Yeah.
Good stuff. So find Preston on all the social, like his link tree below. Do you have any shows coming up?
Yeah, I got a bunch of shows coming up. Tomorrow I'm gonna be at Laugh Out Lounge in Winter Haven. I'm roasting Thatcher Gore.
Ooh,
And then on the first, I have a Don't Tell gig in Jacksonville. It's my first Don't Tell. I'm very excited about that. And then 12/7 Milk District, 12/9 Milk District, 12/13. I'm on the Asking for a Friend podcast. It's Matt Glidden's podcast. I think I'm with Jess Torres. No, it might be different. And then 11/14, I have a guest spot with Cam Patterson at the Improv. He told me to drop in.
wow,
So
that's
I'm really
awesome.
that's going to be my biggest gig ever. 12/14.
That's
Or it
fun.
could also not happen because he's been booking a ton of people on that show. I feel like
Right?
the poster keeps getting more names on it. I'm like, I don't think they're going to have space for it.
Yeah.
But they did just do
Um,
a second show, so I have no idea.
I'm gonna go see him in Jacksonville at the Florida Theater. So it's like a bunch of us Daytona cats are all going. So I'm like, we gotta go support him.
Yeah, that's
Um,
fantastic.
yep. And plus, I hate driving on I-4. I'm like, just take me to the Florida Theater.
I4 is a nightmare.
Oh yeah, good stuff. Well, I'm so proud of you. You're on getting on these all these gigs, and I'm just taking it one show at a time. So my next show is in December 27th on my birthday at the Turnanog Irish Pub, and I will be hosting, DJing, and taking photos because it's Sareth Fest 4 tryouts for Daytona Beach. So I got a couple of them from the open mics from the past festival. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna open it up again so people can try out because I don't take any submission fees or watch any videos because I prefer my stand up live. If people can handle the nog, then they can handle the festival. So
That's
it's gonna be
absolutely
fun.
right. Yeah, perfect.
Indeed. It's a fun one. I can't wait to go there tonight. So yeah, catch me DJing there tonight. I might play Sebastian. It's a fucking song from Under the Sea.
Get him, bro. Get
Awesome. Good
him.
stuff, Preston. So do you have any final words you'd like to give out to the audience at home?
um, Thank you so much for watching.
Yeah.
We go watch some comedy. Netflix has been popping off with new specials. It's a big deal. Have you seen the new Matt Rife one yet?
I have, yep.
What did you think about it? I've heard it was hack.
Yeah, the first joke was hack, and I'm like, because it's that the DV joke, not the DMV joke. There's plenty of those too, but I was just like, it's it's. I prefer dirty comics. I love like old school dirty comics, like Pryor, Murphy, like Rudy Ray Moore, like
Red Fox.
Red Fox, Martin Lawrence. Those guys are my jam.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I love because I'm a filthy comic and I just love dirty jokes.
Me too, buddy. I'm with you. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm a gentleman off stage, separating the art from the artist, and so total gentleman off stage, but super filthy off on stage. And
You're a good man, Sareth.
thank you. Keep that Louis C.K. guy away from me.
Get him
And
out of here.
Bill Cosby too.
Yeah, I know. I hate that my influences are all rapists. I wish it wasn't like that.
Indeed. So what did you think?
Being funny, it's almost like they're running from something.
For sure. So what do you think of Matt Rife's special?
I haven't seen it yet. I've just heard that it was hack, and I have to go watch it. But I appreciated his crowd work is really sharp. He's witty, but I think that that's sort of a side effect of the fact that he likes stock jokes. You know, he's leaned into premises that we've seen. He leans into pop culture, and those are premises that are beat to death by everybody. Sure, he's got one or two interesting takes on them, but I think for the most part, they're stock jokes. You know, at least that's how I felt about OnlyFans' first special. But the crowd work is definitely strong.
For sure.
He's very famous. He's very pretty. I like that.
My favorite crowd work guy is Big J Okerson, hands down. He's just a beast.
I just went through all of his specials beginning to end, and there's like 3 crowd work specials in there where it's just all crowd work for an hour. Strong. It's pretty strong.
Indeed. My go-tos are definitely him, Sam Talent, and Joe Coy. Top
Yeah.
3 crowd work guys for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. Good stuff, Preston. Thank you so much for being my guest. Tune in about 15 minutes. Got another interview lined up too. So can't wait. We'll see you soon, Preston, and hopefully at the Nog. Hopefully somewhere soon before we'll go to Austin together. Who knows? Let's have
Perfect.
some fun.
I'm all
Good,
about it, buddy. Yes,
awesome,
definitely.
pal.
Thanks for having me, man.
You're welcome. For everyone else, take care. See you soon. We'll